Hey everyone, my name is Brittany and I'm an intern at Tessie. And today I'm going to show you and walk you through the process of how I planted more native plants in my own yard. Now let me just say this up front, I am no experienced gardener, so there was a lot of research involved in this, but if I can do it, then that shows that just about anybody can do it. So I'll walk you through the process of how I was able to plant more native plants in my yard at home. So one of the first steps that I did as a novice was research. There's this really cool website that I found that tracks different plants throughout Florida and where they're natively found. And so that was kind of my preliminary research of seeing what exactly I should be looking for when I go to nurseries. A really big thing that you need to know is what type of soil you're going to plant in. For example, at home, my soil is basically just dirt and sand. And that's kind of why a lot of the plants that we have grown in our yard didn't do very well, because the plants that we bought previously weren't really accustomed to this sort of sandy soil. We weren't buying the right plants that natively grew here. So that's why I had such high hopes for planting more native plants in our yard. Then I located a local nursery, and so this nursery in particular was super helpful in teaching me which plants were native, which plants weren't, what would be best for my yard type, sunlight, soil, water, etc. So I took a trip there and did a little bit of shopping. Once I was done there, I loaded up all of my plants and took them home, and I'll show you them now. The next day I got up somewhat early in order to beat the Florida sun, or try to beat the Florida sun, and got to work. So the first thing that I did was I chose which spots I wanted to put the plants in. I had already picked out this 10 to 20 square foot area of my yard that was just dirt, didn't have any plants growing there, and it already didn't have any grass there, so it was just kind of the easiest first step for me to choose where to put these plants. And so I kind of scouted it out and chose where I wanted to put each of the plants. So once I got those 8 plants where I wanted them to be, I got out my shovel, and this was probably the hardest part just for me. I dug 8 holes where I wanted the plants to go, and the depth of the hole and the diameter of the hole depends on how big the plant is, which I had to look up. I didn't know this. So once all the holes were dug, then I finally was able to put the plants in. Aside from the plants that I purchased at the nursery, another big purchase was planting soil. Especially for sandy yards like mine, the plants really need nutrients and good soil. And once I had the holes dug, I filled them in with some planting soil, and then I put the plants in, and then I put more planting soil around it. And then the last step after I put all the plants in was just to water them. I'm super excited about this. I've always wanted to have a more native landscape to our yard, but with school and work and everything, it wasn't super feasible for me to be able to do that. But now that I have this opportunity, I was super happy to do this. It was a little bit of hard work, but I think in the end it paid off, and I can't wait for them to grow and see some butterflies and bees and birds and bugs and everything. So I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and I hope that you guys can do the same at your house. See ya.